Hello and welcome to Integrated Solutions Contractor Training. In this training we'll be covering a new function we are allowing for PPW, and which is the bid completion page. When logging into PPW, you're going to be able to navigate through your update to Integrated Solutions with a new function of the bid completion page. After logging into PPW, you'll come to your main queue, which you will select your work order as normal, and you will view the instructions within. You'll notice that we have a new function which is up here at the very top, which is the bid completion page. This bid completion page will replace our interior and exterior bids form. So moving forward, we will no longer be using the bids exterior interior form. We will now be using the bid completion page. When you are ready to complete your update to Integrated Solutions of finished work that you have completed in the field, we ask that you select the Bid Completion Info tab. When you click on the tab, it's going to bring you to this new screen, and in this screen you'll have many functions to allow you to see transparency in pricing, as well as previous bids, how to submit your bid information, as well as anything that you completed at the property in which you are billing for. Getting started with inputting information within the bid completions page, a couple of functions that we'd like to highlight are anything that you are submitting a bid for is going to be placed under this section of the bid completion page, and this is for all of your bids that you will submit, as well as your completion information is anything that you have completed at the property and you are going to seek payment for. That will go on this side of the bid completion page, and that is the completion information. To get started with entering the information that is needed to complete all facets of this page, we'll focus on the bids first. And when completing your bids, you want to submit your information on the bid information side. You will place your quantities of anything that you are bidding on in the quantity section, and this will notate how many of what item that you are bidding on. As you can see, we have typical allowable items that you typically see on every property that you go to. But if you don't see something that you are trying to bid for, you would simply add the line. And when you're adding the line, you can drop down a menu of items for which you are bidding on. And if you don't see what you're looking for on here, you can simply click on Other and type in the item in which you are bidding for. In this case, it would be mold. And the quantity of the mold that you found at the property, we could say it could be 100 square feet. And then the locations of the mold, we could say it was in the living room, in the dining room, and in the kitchen. Clicking anywhere else on the screen will basically lock that into place. Once adding in the specific line item, you can now focus on what it is that you have completed at the property. Let's just say that you were only bidding on the mold and there was no other damages to report. Now you are ready to put in what you have completed at the property. And again, that's going to be on the completion side of the bid completion. So for instance, you go to the property and you've installed a lockbox. You would say that I installed one lockbox, and then you would say which door that you installed the lockbox, and the code in which you set for the lockbox. You completed while you were there, whether it was a dry winterization, wet winterization, depending on the season. Let's just say that you completed one radiant winterization. It was a wet radiant winterization. You would click 1 as your quantity, and you can reiterate wet winterization. Also, while you're at the property, you might have done a snow removal. So you could say 1 snow removal was completed, and then you can put in the dimensions of like so. After you've submitted all of the information that you need on the bid completion page and everything looks like what was needed at the property, and you have all of your information here, you would just simply hit save. And then we save this bid completion page, and it will say up here, information saved. When you see that, then you know that all of your information is correct. One of the reasons why we added the bid completion page was to allow transparency in pricing of what you are billing, as well as giving you the opportunity to invoice integrated solutions. So after you fill out the information on the bid completion page, everything that you submit for your bids is now archived within the system and will show up in the history of the property. So if this were not the first time we visited the property and it was a subsequent visit, this new button up here that says Show Past Bids is going to allow you to see the last bids that you've submitted at this property. And you can, if you would like, as you can see, we've reported 100 square feet of mold in the living room, dining room, and kitchen. It matches up with a previous bid that was submitted with mold. We have 200 square feet of mold present. So you could simply copy this bid, no matter which one it was, if it was this visit or if it was this visit. As you can see that there was mold present as well. You can copy the bid by checking the box and hit copy bid, and it would place it in your bid completion page down here below. And you see that the difference here between 100 and 200 square feet, you could simply delete the line item that you presently put in there and put in there the previous bid that was submitted if conditions haven't changed. If conditions have changed with the mold and the number is larger on your secondary visit, obviously you would want to report that larger amount of mold because conditions have gotten worse. You can also see any other damages that were reported as far as a bid, and you can copy them and place them in your bid completion page, so it makes it a streamlined system and way faster for you while you're trying to do your reporting to us. One of the other functions that we added to the bid completion page and for contractors to utilize moving forward is anything that you put into the completion page or completion side of the bid completion page is going to populate your invoice. So after you hit save and it says information saved, we can now go to the invoice portion of PPW, and you can see that it has now populated an invoice for you for everything that you have completed at that property. The lockbox that you put on, the winterization that you have done, as well as the snow removal. And you can see now what your invoice total is going to be. And you can simply save the invoice, and now it will be saved for integrated solutions to be able to process payment. One of the other functions of this invoice is for you to be able to print your invoice for your records. So after you complete this and save this, you can print the invoice, and it will print to a PDF version, and you can save this for your records. This is the invoice that's created. You are billing integrated solutions, and this is your total amount that you're billing out for. And you can keep this PDF for your record. Introducing the bid completion page instead of the bid form that is under the PCR form, we find that this is a more interactive way for anyone to describe damages as well as bid out properly and bill out properly and offer transparency moving forward. So to recap, we're basically introducing a new function in PPW, which is the bid completion page. You go into your work order, you go to bid completion info, and now you are ready to place the information that you need as far as your bids that are submitted, as well as the items that you have completed while you were there. Keep in mind, if you put the items that you have completed on the wrong side, it will not populate your invoice correctly, and you will see a blank invoice. If that's the case, you can always go to the invoice, choose the drop-down menu, and choose the item that which you are billing for and correct it and save the invoice. But we would like you to complete accurately by placing the correct quantity and the correct comments in the completion side, so it does populate your invoice for you so that it moves the system a little bit faster. If you do have any questions moving forward with any of this, I urge everyone to reach out to me. My name is Joe Hummel, and I am the Vice President of Operations at Integrated Solutions. And you can reach me by dialing into the office at 317-252-0040, extension 105. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope it proves helpful for you